Hey everybody, this is Mr. Hardcore Mode here, where nothing is easy. Bringing you another hard rant here today. Warriors and Witches, good to see you all. I have been doing pretty well, and I hope you guys have been doing pretty well. By the way, happy Men's Mental Health Month. That's still going underway. I've been playing a lot of Stellar Blade, and that has been helping with my mental health a lot. Let's just say, and I know a lot of people have been wondering whether or not I'm going to do mods for Stellar Blade. I will, and I'll also do an impressions video on Stellar Blade here real soon. But PC Gamer just came out and, what's the good word for just outing themselves? Well, basically they shot themselves in their own foot. So what we got right here is a guy named Joshua Wolins from PC Gamer. PC Gamer has been on a roll lately with showing that their activism and their sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Not only activism, but Marxism and their whole liberal, agenda is up there, is soaring high in the sky. It's not going away from PC Gamer at all. And anything that they say in PC Gamer and it stays, that means everybody is in PC Gamer is in agreement with that. I wanna preface this. So if it stays on PC Gamer, everybody else in the team is just like, cool. Otherwise, they would take it down. So, because, we trust game journalists, right? This is what this guy, Joshua Wolin, said. Gunnar Gate of the Year Stellar Blade mods are 41% smut, ensuring gamers will never see the light of heaven. Let's jot this thing down for what he's saying. First of all, it is okay for anybody playing this game to enjoy it. You're a man, you're a woman, you have needs. This is a luxury. This is a sort of, video games is a sort of pleasure, something to escape from reality for a little bit. So it makes sense that you would buy this game because pretty girl is going to be pretty, and awesome combat. You gotta have both, by the way. We did come for bringing the Eve into Stellar Blade. Oh, we came for that. We came a lot. Okay, let me stop. But definitely, judging from the numbers on SteamDB, this game is skyrocketing because the gamers have decided, and that's just how it is. I love playing this game, doing the awesome combos, trying to fight the enemies without getting hit. It's not a Souls-like to me, it's more of an action RPG. Eve is OP as hell. Let me just say that right now. But I am enjoying it. There's some things that I don't like here and there, but overall, in the majority, great game. I'm glad it came out in PC. Well done, Shift Up. I love Shift Up. They did Nikkei, got us a victory. But the gamers have spoken. That's just how it is. And they'll make mods pertaining to Eve, whether or not she's going to be pregnant, whether or not she's going to have a Samus Aran costume with big titties, whether or not she's going to be nude, any sort of thing like that, that is up to their purview. However, when PC Gamer comes out and says it like, oh, you guys are wrong. See, this is the kind of agenda I can't fucking stand, is because it's rules for thee and not for me. You want to know what I'm talking about? Basically, Joshua doesn't like it when men are fucking happy. That's right. He's not a feminist in any sort of way, because women also like Eve, but since men like Eve, he doesn't like that. He doesn't like it when heterosexuals are enjoying themselves for 2 seconds, so this is what he's going to say. Well, we're gonna keep on going with what we're gonna say on this thing, but I wanna go back to, hold on to the never see the light of heaven part. Hold on to that one. We're gonna keep on going, cause he's talking about never seeing the light of heaven. Okay, well, Joshua Wolins, what else what do you like if you don't like Stellar Blade? Well, here's what he likes. Baldur's Gate 3's bear sex scene was such an upward turn in momentum for the game that its animator called his mom to show it off. She was like, "That's weird." Oh, now we're having fun about bear sex in Baldur's Gate 3. Bullshit. Now let's see what he says down on the bottom, because I think this is very, very, very important. Because this boy, Joshua Swollens over here, because that's what I'm going to call him from now on, what he said in his own documents is basically, hey, who am I to tell you what to do with your own money? And also that the fact that he's kind of into bestiality himself. So we're going to read this right here, which turned out, of course, to be a perilous bit of marketing. It signified a kind of upward turn in momentum towards the launch of the game, said Davis. To see the reception it got, it was crazy. It was first thing that I worked on to take off like that. I'm really happy that's how the community took it. It was a bit of a laugh, bit of a fun. Boy, did they. The bear scene quickly went viral, blazing a steamy internet trail across the social media and getting up a fair amount of hype for the game. The virality wasn't even hampered by a TikTok ban. We were doing the panel from Hellstream, chimed in Larian boss Sven Vink. And so the bear scene was just shown, and I saw publishing team. They were super excited, and then they were yelling, "We got banned on TikTok." Despite that, everyone loved it, or at least everyone outside of Larian loved it. Coworker who stumbled across Davis working on the scene were maybe a little perturbed. At the office we were in at the time, my desk is right next to the kitchen, said Davis, which made for some awkward encounters. I was going to get a coffee, said Smith, and I saw things I did not expect to see. I like how the team was just like, "What the fuck, bruh?" Davis continued, "I'd been working on it for so long that you kind of get numb to it almost, and people walk by the desk and they're just like, 'What are you doing?'" Well, that's just how it is. You see how his tone changes. You see how his tone changes, like, "Oh man, we're all just having fun here. We're all just, we're all just fucking a bear," you know what I mean? It's like, we're all just having a little bit of, it's like, we're all just having a little bit of fun. So, we're gonna continue. We have noticed that he's not only said this, but their PC, also, their game journalists have also said something like this. Not this one. We'll come to that one. This one is by Joshua Swollens himself. Find love and abandon God with this 20,000 fully customizable Baldur's Gate 3 Asterion sex doll. Say, this is another one of his that he actually, the way he speaks through this whole thing, is like, oh my gosh, do what you want with your own money, fam. It's like, I wish I could afford it. Let's see what he says at the bottom, because here's the picture of the thing that he ordered, and it cost a lot of money. But here's what he had to say at the end. The only problem, the makers didn't quite capture his likeness properly. Wow. He's got the wan skin color and the pointy ears, sure, but he's a little more heavy-set and less long of a face, and everyone's favorite BG3 vampire boy. Aw, little vampire boy. The buyer wasn't completely satisfied with the custom head, sadly. They say, which wasn't quite in the line with the 3D file they've given the dolls makers. A 3D file perhaps taken from you know, a video game. Still, they got the whole thing for out of 4 stars overall. So I guess the doll was ultimately fit for purpose. Well, what interested me, honest, was the cost. How much does a life-size, fully actuated vampire set you back these days? Well, he checked it out, and let's see, he had to verify for himself. He can. I'm a hard-bitten investigative journalist, a real Woodward and Bernstein type. Get the fuck out of here. Alas, the site the post came from made it hard to say. The original post even tells readers not to ask where the screenshot came from, adding it to its aura of mystery. After some digging and a lot of visiting websites that someone senior is definitely going to have a word with me about. What do you mean by that? Why would you say that? Why would you say that? I found the source. The review was of a custom doll from a site called The Following Link is Profoundly Radically NSFW. I'm not going in there. The price of such a doll, $10,000 minimum. Basically all of that. And then he says at the bottom, and you know what? Good for them. Far be it for me to judge anyone for how they spend their money or what they do with the financial vampires they love in the privacy of their own home. After all, Tiffany's not alone. My soldier and thorough side of BG3 fandom also introduced me to other possible Asterions. You gay as fuck little bitch. Honestly, this one from the creator called BGD, which I stress does not market itself as a sex doll like Spartan Love one does, actually captures the real vamp's appearance. You notice that we're not even talking about video games anymore, we're just talking about sex shit. Where have we gone? Where have we fallen? To be fair, I think it was made quite a lot later, so I imagine it's taken advantage of developments in Silicon Asterion tech. And if you're curious, but don't want to take the 20k plunge, you can dip in a ton picking up Asterions on. Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. You can go on those sites for as long as you want. If that's what you want to do, if this is your world, you and the bear sex, then that's all you. But don't come up to us with this, saying we're not going to see the light of heaven. Okay? Don't come up to us be like, yo, tell me about the bear sex scene. Yo, tell me about the Asterion sex doll. Tell me about it. I consider myself, a game journalist, a little, I'm a little Sherlock Holmes, you know what I mean? I gotta find it out. It's fucking disgusting. Don't come up to us with that bullshit. Okay? Do not come to us with that bullshit. He also PC, this is not Joshua Swollens this time. This time it's somebody else named Jody McGregor. If it's Jody McGregor. That's the most liberal name that I've ever fucking heard. Stellar Blade is doing better numbers than almost every other PlayStation port on Steam. Yeah, duh, because people like this shit. We like pretty women. We like hot women. We like cute women. Duh, obviously stupid. And it's probably not just because of the nude mods. No shit, bitch. No shit. But yes, there is a lot of fucking mods on this game. There is. But I also want to see... First of all, I want to make sure that later on when they do mods for this game, that it's properly coordinated. Because I've noticed with the nude mods, or with any sort of like NSFW mods, they keep on switching other costumes with their version of a costume. So I'm trying to look for the person who comes out and puts a whole section of like, separate mods that you can go to that's more organized, that's more updated, that's more patched. Because right now, a lot of the mods, the game just came out, so they're going to be kind of wonky. So you got to be careful with getting a mod right off the back when a game came out like 3 days ago. So I worry about that a little bit. But people are free, feel free to do whatever the hell you want. But these motherfuckers always come out and say some shit like, well, this game isn't really anything. You guys are just here for the fucking nudes and shit. Every fucking time. Every fucking time. You want to know why they do this? Is because they like to do this sort of thing. Anything that does not mesh with their own doctrine, they don't like. Especially with South Korean, Chinese, and Japanese games. A little bit different with Japanese games, but if you're a brand new developer from China, South Korea, and you're not really out there talking too much to PC or PC Gamer or IGN, you're not gonna really do much access media with those game journalists, because they're from either Western, they're Western game journalists, so there's not really much communication between the two. A lot of Asian developers don't want to deal with Western sensibilities because they either one, they think you're fucking weird, or two, they don't want to hurt your feelings. So they don't want to change the way they make their games. If they want to make their games hot, they'll do it. They don't want to come out and say, like, okay, we'll start doing male and female. No, that's what they've always been doing. That's what they always been doing. Well, Square Enix is about to change that shit here real quick, and Capcom's being a bit weird lately. But this is what's been happening. Also, Vice has been doing the same goddamn thing. Vice comes out and says Stellar Blade PC launch breaks Steam sales records thanks to its thirsty fan base. No shit, dumbass. No shit. They always come out and they're just like, isn't this a bygone era? Isn't this are we still doing this? We've always been doing this. If you want to fuck some fat bitch with a fupa, I'm sorry to say Concord failed. Did you know that PC Gamer gave this game a 6 out of 10 and they gave Dustborn a 7 out of 10? Nigga, are you fucking serious? Are you a cornball? Let's go over to a 6 out of 10 from PC Games N. This is a different sort of game journo sort of thing. But by the way, they're all the same to me, okay? If I made a video game, I don't care about these fools, okay? And if you're a game developer yourself, I wouldn't care about these fools ever. All that matters is your fan base. So, Stellar Blade PC review, a slick but hollow action RPG. Stellar boasts stylish combat that never grows dull, but its flat characters and bland plot fail to match the action's high energy. He also says at the end, which I find funny, the way he talks, because he doesn't sound like a gamer. He sounds like somebody who has a couple of Funko Pops, and all he cares about is just sending a message. He's not here for games like you and me. He's here to just be like, well, I played the game enough to give it a 6 out of 10. That's what he sounds like. That's what he sounds like. So, the way he speaks on this whole thing is, Stellar Blade opens with a pod hurtling through the atmosphere before crashing to Earth. A woman, our protagonist Eve, is released from the pod to emerge in a slow-motion flourish. Long ponytail streaming down her arched back, and her improbable techno supermodel figure framed by the way, women actually look like Eve. You just need to go outside, maybe go to the gym. You know what a gym is? They're actually women that look great. So, lo and behold, Eve is thrown into the action. You learn to dodge around insectal. Why do you speak like this? Why do you speak like you're some sort of nerd with a fedora hat, and you're just like, and you've just discovered that you don't have to write with a pen, you can write with a feather and ink? Like, why do you do this? You go through the pod, and you know what? We're gonna do that. It's been a while. We're gonna do that. No, it's been a while. It's been a while. If he's gonna talk like he's fucking Squidward with the clarinet, and he thinks he's hot shit with the clarinet, but people would rather see SpongeBob mopping up the fucking floor than watch this man play the clarinet, we're gonna do like we did with Veilguard. Hold up. No. You made me do it. You made me do it. I told you not to do it. Told you not to do it. Told you not to do it. Attention! Attention! Behold news! Stellar Blade review from Reed McCarter. best of the best, the most peripheral, the most accomplished of game journalists. We write, in Stellar Blade's sci-fi future, Eve is designed to serve a specific purpose. Her job is to beat monsters that have overrun the planet, forcing the Gildred remnants of the civilization into an unbanned enclave that offers scant protection from the threats of their dystopian world. When she meets an ordinary person, they often address her as the Angel. Her martial prowess and descendant from the space of the fallen world below. I know how to say words. Shut the fuck up. Continue. Eve is also designed to serve a similar purpose for players. She's meant to be a widely capable warrior. Exciting to watch as she carves through enemies and flits across the battlefield with superhuman acrobatics. And she's also meant to be an attractive figure for the presumably drooling audience to dress up in various costumes, or oogle as the camera obsesses, as it does in her introductory cutscene over her body. I like to pretend that it was only the cutscene that was looking at her ass. But maybe me as well, but I'll never tell the audience. Stellar Blade is good at accomplishing its goals, for better or worse, though a large portion of it is spent traversing sprawling post-apocalyptic environments, climbing, swimming, and running through a rusted ruins, dotting a deserted landscape, or spelunking through abandoned facilities. And how long is he going to keep on talking like he's saying normal things that are in the game? He won't. He makes it seem like, are you watching this? Are we watching this? Sorry, I got off a character. I'm just, let me continue. Eve is an accomplished fighter. You've told us 3 paragraphs ago we're gonna bring up her being a fighter again. And Stellar Blade models her talents through fluid design that sees her acrobatically dispatching enemies. You're bringing it up a second time? We've just said that in the previous paragraph. Pardon me, ladies and gentlemen. Leaps into the air and a range of combo attacks. The game doles out new additions to these systems, guns, and an extra variety of special melee abilities at regular enough intervals that the fighting is nearly overwhelmingly complex, nor dully repetitive. The animation and sound work lend a welcome sense of impact to every hit. The variety of enemies is wide enough that there's a constant need to learn the new tactics. We have positive feedback from a 6 out of 10. Wow. The audiovisual spectacle of these fights, either when ripping through weaker enemies or we're still talking about kicking the enemy's ass. Stellar Blade is an impressive game in terms of fidelity, often in the look of its creatures and post-apocalyptic. We're talking about the post-apocalyptic scenery again. But many sections of its semi-discrete environments take so long to pick through that they wear thin before the next one opens up. Nigga, you mean you played longer than 5 hours and now you're already bored? There are nice touches here and there. Nigga, you're a game journalist. Why are you saying here and there? Be specific. Sorry. I had a nigga moment. Continue. There are nice touches here and there, and that elevate a strange hour of running through a damp sewer system or verdant ruins of an abandoned metropolis dotted with crumbling statues. Why are you talking about the statues? Why you have so... You have... There's so much fluff. No. Cut the music. Cut the music. Cut the... Get this off me. Why are you doing so much fluff? You're just making extra fucking... You're doing extra paragraphs just so you can make a buck. That's what you're doing. You are so bored with the job that you don't want that you have been saying things twice or 3 times in a row. Talking about cutting things up and then saying here and there. You are just bored. You are just bored. You mentioned the characters' designs again. The monsters that make up a majority of the game's enemies are wonderfully grotesque. You mentioned the monsters again. You see what I mean? These are the fucking game journalists that I can't fucking stand, that will do paragraph after paragraph of a game that they don't fucking like. It is poor grammar. This is poorly made. There is too much fluff. They could easily cut this down by half. But Reed don't give 2 fucks. You think this old liberal white man for Kamala Harris looking ass is gonna fucking... You think he fucking cares about what he's doing right now with this 6 out of 10? You know what? Go fuck yourself, PC Games, and ain't nobody fucking know you. The only reason people know you is because of your stupid fucking review. And I'm gonna let you know right now, do not come to me with... well, negative feedback is like, negative views is still good views. No, it's fucking not. No, it's not. That's not how this shit works. Tell that to Kotaku and IGN that had layoffs. Okay? This is the bullshit that I can't fucking stand. Where they come at you with rules for thee, not for me. As soon as gamers start to rave and enjoy themselves, they come back at you saying, you, sir, are disgusting. Meanwhile, they're fucking a bear and buying and thinking about buying 20K like fucking sex dolls of Asterion. That's their mindset. That's what they're thinking about. There's probably so much news out there, so much gaming news, and this dumbass Joshua Swollens said, you know what we should talk about? We should talk about this, because who am I to tell you what you do with your money? Well, I could say the same thing about Stellar Blade fans. How about that? Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for seeing me, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace!